Hello, what's up everyone? So we are going to begin by doing kind of like your makeup on a normal day. So I'm just filling in my eyebrows and then I'm just going to grab some concealer and apply that underneath to highlight my brow bones and define my brows. So just kind of pretend you're doing your makeup on a normal day. Moving on to the eyes, I've decided to go for a really subtle, gentle, natural nude, and this is because I wanted the attention to be mainly of course on the exploded area, so I decided to go for something that was contrasting. So you want to prime your eye and then just do whatever eye makeup you want, and I'm just basically applying some brown on around the crease of my eye and then just feathering out the colour. And then for underneath my eyes, I'm just grabbing a black eyeliner. I'm using the NYX False Blacks and I'm just going to apply this onto my waterlines. By the way, all the products will be listed in the description box below. And then finally, I'm just grabbing some mascara and I'm just going to apply this. I'm not going for anything huge like big lashes or anything like that. Again, I wanted the attention to be focused on the exploded areas. Okay, now we're moving on to the fun part. So I'm using toilet roll for this and you want to rip some small pieces. I'm then grabbing some liquid latex. I'm using the Mehron one for this and I'm just going to use either my finger or a sponge, it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to apply this onto my face and then I'm applying the toilet roll on top of that and then applying liquid latex on top of the toilet roll. So I'm kind of paper macheing almost. This is going to create the skin. If you want to, if it makes it easier, you can grab a pencil and sketch out where you want the skin to be first, that's absolutely fine. And you literally just want to keep repeating the same thing, just apply some latex and then some tissue and then just keep on going, build your way up and really thicken up the skin. You want to make sure the toilet roll is nice and drenched in liquid latex and there's no dry bits left out. And a really important thing to keep in mind is to try and keep the edges flat onto your skin as much as possible because you want the transition to be smooth and realistic. Once the latex is dry, you can now peel off the bottom areas. Just be careful with the edges and try not to peel too much off. Next, I'm grabbing some cotton this time and I'm going to apply some latex onto the rest of my face and then apply cotton on top of that. And then again, you really want to drench the cotton. Make sure there's no dry fluffy bits and start creating some stringy like texture. Honestly, it is really messy. It's kind of difficult to go wrong. Just go crazy. Keep building your way up. Add some more and more cotton and latex. And I like to use my finger and pinch the ends so it kind of looks like it's nice and stringy. So just take your time, build it up slowly, grab a small amount of cotton each time. And as you can see, I'm creating bigger pieces as it goes towards the middle areas and smaller as it goes away. Moving on, so now we're going to paint the skin in a skin colour. I've actually grabbed a darker colour to my natural skin. This is because of course it's white underneath and when you paint the foundation on it may look lighter than your real skin. So I've actually gone in with a few different colours to try and match it as close as possible. And you also want to apply the foundation onto the rest of your face as well and just try and make the skin as seamless as possible. Don't worry too much if it doesn't match exactly because we can go ahead and fill in some kind of like bruised colours anyway later on. Moving on, I'm grabbing the Mehron Bruise Wheel and I'm going to literally paint the rest in some reds and some deep red as well. I'm applying the really deeper reds and browns into the deeper areas and then the brighter reds into the rest of the areas. It is really difficult to paint every single part. As you can see, there's a lot of white bits left, but don't worry too much about that, we can fix that later. You could even grab some black and put it on the deepest areas, but I would be really careful when you do this because if you overdo it, it can look really fake. I just prefer to use a really dark brown just to be on the safe side and keep it as realistic as I can. Moving on, I'm grabbing the same Mehron Bruise Wheel and I'm just going to apply this onto the skin areas. I'm going to make it look nice and bruised and damaged, and I'm going in with a mixture of purples and reds. I'm literally just grabbing an eyeshadow brush and I'm just really gently applying this. I'd say a top tip for this step is do not add too much at once. You want to really slowly build your way up, add a small amount of product each time and use circular motions to get a nice soft blend. Sometimes less is more, and if you found that you've added too much, you can easily go in with some foundation and just gently dab on top of it to try and sort of like fix it and balance it out. So next I'm grabbing some fake blood. I'm using the Mehron and I'm using all different types of bloods. Again, it'll all be listed in the description box below. I'm then grabbing a wire sponge as well. I'm just going to gently dab this onto the rest of my face. This is going to create the effect that it's been exploded and it's splattered everywhere. And then grabbing the rest of the fake blood as well, I'm just going to apply this onto the rest of my face. Really try and cover up those white marks as much as you can. You don't want any of them showing, and make it nice and juicy. You want to use deeper and dark bloods again as it goes onto the deeper areas, and then the brighter bloods as it goes to the more visible areas. I think this is quite important. It will create a lot more realism and just make the entire look pop. For the final touch-ups, I'm just going to continue with the wire sponge onto my forehead and then my chest as well, and I'm also creating some drips coming from the explosion. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video then feel free to also give it a thumbs up. Also don't forget I have an Instagram @gothspectrum, and finally I will see you next time.